Hello and welcome to Got You Entertainment. So if you stop by this video because, like me, you're maybe an elder Gen Z or you're even older and you have no idea what the Backrooms really are and you're looking for some kind of explanation, well, you've come to the wrong video. And on the flip side, if you're on the younger side, you're probably not going to like this video either because I don't actually know anything about the lore or the world of the Backrooms. I guess what I'm trying to say is this video is for nobody. You've come to the wrong place. And in that way, is it not kind of like the Backrooms of the internet? I don't know. Play the intro.
Gaming Cookie Guy Entertainment.
So a lot of what I do on this channel is I like to tweak or rewrite movies that I either didn't like to make them something that I like more, or they're movies that I don't really understand and I rewrite them so I can understand them better. Now, Backrooms falls solidly in the category of movie that I don't have a great understanding of, but for once, it's not a movie that I am at all interested in rewriting. I think what Backrooms absolutely nails is this like atmospheric horror. Parsons has his hand firmly on the dial of tension the entire movie, and he is constantly making adjustments, constantly ramping it up and down depending on exactly what the scene needs in that moment. He knows just when to back off and let a scene of Clark exploring be exactly that. It is just Clark walking through a space, no issues. And then he knows when to add in the music, when to start adding in the editing tricks that amp up the tension so that we start feeling what the characters in the scene are feeling. He was actually almost too good at this for me because like in the first 5 minutes of the movie, I had to watch it through like half closed eyes with my hands like in front of the screen. Like I said, I'm kind of a coward when it comes to horror, but I was a very brave boy and I stuck with it. And so finally we arrive near the end of the movie and finally our big bad is revealed to be, spoiler warning right now, revealed to be like a Backrooms distortion version of Clark, the character we have been following pretty much the whole movie, who himself at this point is like revealed to be a killer. I think, I guess, I'll be honest, the Clark heel turn is probably the moment that least worked for me in this movie, but that's kind of not the point because at this point in the movie, we're moving on to other stuff because now the giant Captain Clark has killed Clark Prime and is now chasing our final girl, Mary, through the Backrooms. We have a lot more to deal with. And at this point, what's been like a pretty interesting, atypical horror movie becomes like a more what you've seen a dozen times before. The monster is chasing the girl bests the monster and is then rescued. But after that sequence of things we've seen before, the movie goes right back to something new and interesting because this rescue is clearly more than meets the eye. And this is where I thought I had this movie all figured out and where I turned out to be dead wrong. I felt so smart. I felt so clever. I felt like I had figured out the Backrooms. I felt like I had bested everyone else in the audience and me alone got what Kane Parsons was going for. Stupid, dumb me. You see, we don't get a lot of info on what the Backrooms actually are. As best the characters in the film can figure out, it is kind of like a copy of real life that itself gets copied and copied until it is unrecognizable. This is illustrated perfectly in the movie as we have this one sequence where a camera is descending through a series of rooms, and that room gets more and more distorted and changed until it is something completely different. And also cut throughout the movie, we see this character played by Mark Duplass, who seems to be watching and maybe studying the Backrooms, while he is one of the people who is responsible for finally rescuing Mary at the end. And he claims to be one of the people responsible for creating this liminal space in a kind of rescue / interrogation scene between him and Mary. And with these two pieces of information, I thought I had solved the whole puzzle. I thought from this rescue scene, we would kind of mirror what we did earlier when we went down through the Backrooms. I thought we would instead pan up through the levels of the Backrooms, up to the reality we've seen the whole movie, but not stop there. I thought we would go one more level, to the place where Mark Duplass's character is really from the true reality. And at this point, it would be revealed to the audience that Mary and Clark and all the people we've seen, and by extension, all of us in the audience, have just been living this whole time in the backrooms all along. And this whole existence that we see is just a poor imitation of something better. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but I think that's a pretty good ending reveal. But that's not how the movie ends. Instead of going up, the camera once again takes us down, even deeper into the depths of the backrooms, until we finally end on a distorted copy of Mary sitting alone in this, what was once an interrogation room. The end. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. And I love that. Now, there are some filmmakers who make these empty puzzle box kind of movies that are very interesting, but once you get to the center, the answer inside is just kind of hollow, or there might not have been an answer to begin with. Yeah, I'm kind of talking about J.J. Abrams. But I don't think that's what Kane Parsons is doing here. I think Kane Parsons has an answer, and he's giving us all the clues to be able to figure out that answer, but he's not giving it to us himself. And I think that that's because this movie is not about the answer, the exact pseudoscience and the mechanics of this world. It's not about that. It's about the characters. And more importantly, I think it's about the unknown. And that's why this is not a rewrite video. Because yeah, maybe the ending that I thought I was about to see would have been more narratively satisfying in some ways, but it would not have made this movie better. And I think it would have entirely missed the point of what Kane Parsons was trying to accomplish. This is a movie not about answers. It's a movie about questions. And, in this way, Kane Parsons, I think, is giving back to the community that made him by allowing so many YouTube channels to farm content off of all of those questions. So Captain Kane, I salute you. And that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say about Backrooms in this non-rewrite kind of video. Tell me in the comments, what did you think of Backrooms? Did you also think you had the ending figured out before it came? What do you think of the actual ending we got? Do you think you have the answers? Maybe you're right. Hey, I want to hear it all in the comments. I love the discussion that this movie has brought out. That's part of the reason I think this is a great movie. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more non-rewrites, rewrites, and more. And I'll see you in the next one.